Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bald and Bonkers Show. Join your hosts Christopher Mole and Dakota Franson as they take you on a wild ride through the world of the supernatural, with a humorous twist that'll have you laughing and shaking in your boots at the same time. From ghosts to aliens to cryptids, no topic is off limits on this show. And the best part? You don't have to be a believer to join in on the fun. So grab a drink, kick back, and tune in every weekend for new episodes. And if you want even more of the Bald and Bonkers experience, be sure to subscribe to our Patreon page for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Let's get weird. Oh, and for the whiners out there, viewer discretion is advised. There you go, you entitled pricks.
Please leave me alone.
Leave me alone, please leave me alone.
Leave me alone, please leave me alone.
Got to say for anybody out there that doesn't like us, I will say this: you are a bunch of entitled pricks.
Yeah, especially without Chris is wanting to fire off tonight.
Well, I'm sick of the way the world's going.
I know, man.
What it is. I mean, it's. I can remember when I went to school, it was like normal, right? And now the way they're teaching our kids, and well, I don't have any kids, so I don't really have that to worry about. But it's just taking the piss, man. And it's that TikTok's to blame for it. In fact, I think they should just ban that TikTok everywhere.
It's ironic that a Chinese app is encouraging this type of shit, you know?
Do you know in China, in TikTok, you don't get anything like what we get?
Well, yeah, they're all over that type of shit.
Aye. It's making the West madder and madder and madder and madder and madder. I'm telling you, this world is totally, and I've got to swear here, fucked. With the younger generation and the older generation, but I would say there's some older generation, I don't know, maybe they'll de-you, I don't know, but the younger generation's got to run the world. I mean, honestly, I learned a thing tonight, guys, today, and it was a certain conspiracy theorist was going on about it. It was Alex, Alex Jones, what do you call him?
Yeah.
What's his name? We've got him on the show, but it wasn't real and he couldn't make it. What's his name? David Icke. And I thought, this guy's making this up, so I went and looked it up. And it's right enough. Do you know in the United States now, the woke community, that's all these idiots that glue themselves to the roads and all that, if you look at a petrol car, are now wanting their kids to be done for assault. Now let me get this right here. Their newborn children, if they touch their mother or father without their permission, they want them arrested or they want them something done to them because it's classed as assault.
Yeah, they're trying to justify chemical castration of children, dude.
Did you hear the one out of Canada?
There's all sorts of shit coming out of Canada right now. What are you talking about? Canada's a big place.
It was Ontario or somewhere. But anyway, I watched it the day. See how you get that I shouldn't laugh. See how you get that thing that if you've got terminal cancer and you want to make your life kill yourself.
Mm.
Well, they've suggested now, why don't we let the homeless kill themselves because they don't have any money? Anybody that's not got any money and can't cope, we should just let them kill themselves. I'm serious. It's fucking mad.
Well, yeah, there's a number of people that try to say the homeless aren't actually people.
Aye, that's what they're saying. They're saying that the homeless are the people and they should be exterminated, basically. And are we getting into history again? Are we bringing Hitler back again or something like here?
Who says he ever left?
Exactly.
Because honestly, when you really look into it, a lot of Nazi materials ended up with the Rockefeller family, which is in charge of how the public school systems, especially here in the U.S., came to formation. See, a lot of women out there don't realize women's suffrage was able to pass through because the Rockefellers didn't like them sitting around at home and not being able to collect taxes off of them.
Look at that, what Drew says.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, 3-year-olds. First off, a 3-year-old's just gonna fucking play. They don't get why they don't understand why there's so much fuss about this. They're just going to fucking play with toys. That's all they see.
yeah.
It's twisted parents that are trying to manipulate them, and this affects so many different things, especially when it comes to the spiritual communities. Oh my fucking god! For a group that is here, I'm gonna say it. For groups that are such love and light, y'all are damned and determined. A lot of y'all are damned and determined to throw down at the littlest of inconvenience, the littlest counter argument to what your preconceived notions are.
But that's what folk do. Right, that's what folk do. I will say this: there is funny things that's happened in the community, the genders and stuff like that. Did you see that? Did you see that thing with the Bud Light beer?
Oh, the god! I didn't even know who this person was before this controversy.
Absolutely brilliant. Nobody is buying Bud Light because of this. Anyway, I don't know why folk would drink Bud Light because it tastes like cat's piss. Not that I've ever had cat's piss, but I've tasted it. It tastes absolutely disgusting.
Well,
there's so many better beers out
well,
there.
I do. I'm not a drinker, but first off, I find it funny that y'all are taking offense to a dude who now identifies as a woman being a sponsor for beer, because that's kind of what happens. If you drink too much beer, you end up sleeping with a woman that's actually a man.
But it's look, Bud Light is notorious for always being for the working man. It's always I ken it's a big thing in America. I don't know here, right? You don't really see it that much here, Bud Light. I see it now and again. But yeah, we see adverts on like American TV shows. If you drive a Ford, you drink Bud Light. Obviously, no, when you're driving the Ford, obviously. But no, it's all these guys with the big 4x4s. They're just chucking it away because they don't want to be seen as supporting that kind of thing. Because these are big guys that like to be hunting and stuff like that.
Well, here's the thing, and there's a lot of individuals who have stepped away from the LGBT community because it's no longer become social acceptance. Yes, they're gay. If if the relationship isn't abusive in any way, let them do them. Yeah. That's their business. As long as there's no abuse in it. I know, poor wording on my part, but still, the whole argument in that, there's been times where, I got a cousin who recently came out as gay. People are like, oh, there's nothing wrong with that, Dakota. What's your problem with that? My problem is I know their living situation, and there's a motherfucker in there that has been pushing people to try to commit suicide. The LGBTQ community is no longer about getting social acceptance to where they're not being treated just because they have feelings for someone of the same gender. It's become about social dominance.
It used to be they were fighting for equal rights. They were fighting for equal rights. They wanted to be seen as a normal person.
Now they're trying to become the fucking fascists that they think that put them in that situation in the first place.
This is my kind of thing. I don't see anything wrong with it, right? Honestly. If you want to go out with another man, you go out with another man, right? If you want a woman wants to go out with another woman, fair dues. It's when you start like forcing it on people. It's when you start forcing it on like children, for instance, sending transvestites to schools to do dances and teach them 5-year-olds. Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, over here in the States, there were several schools in Texas that were pushing that exact same thing. And finally, the superintendent of the schools stepped up, had a board meeting, and said, you know what? It's become to my attention that you all have been distributing child pornography in the classroom. Either step down now or you will be arrested.
I've seen that.
Thank fucking God he's stepped up. In Texas, of all places.
Aye, the teachers were actually basically saying it's okay to be a sex
Be a
offender.
pedophile.
Yeah. I didn't want to use that word in life, but it doesn't really matter. You've went and used it, but don't get monetized anyway. But
No, they're fighting us on monetization, so let's fucking say it.
they'll no monetize us, guys. So remember, hit that donation link if you're into our shows and stuff like that. They'll no monetize us because we're actually speaking the truth.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's taking the piss. It really is taking the piss. See, in the next 10 years, society is going to collapse. It's going to be just ridiculous. That TikTok, I started a TikTok account. I've got 4,000 followers, a load of shite. I only use it now to watch stuff. See, TikTok, holy shit. See the amount of utter. I was talking to somebody today about it. The stuff that's on there. The younger generation's getting into.
Mm-hmm.
I just fucking don't know anymore. I honestly don't know what's happening to this world. And honestly, the extraterrestrials that are visiting, they're probably sitting in their spaceship, they're now thinking, holy shit, these people are mad.
That's an understatement. I mean...
Yeah, October.
Oh, hey, October. I have plenty of connections with local law enforcement, and they've told me all the time some of the weirdest things they've come across just because kids were filming TikToks.
Have you seen the new craze that they've got?
Which one?
Getting into people's houses. Well, just randomly walking into people's houses and walking around about, and they're telling them to get out. You know what's going to happen there? It's going to happen in America. A kid's going to walk into somebody's house, right? And the guy or the woman's going to take a Glock out and shoot them. That's what's going to happen there.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, no, that's pretty much an American stereotype.
But they're basically saying, get out my house, and they're like, go fuck yourself, I'm going to walk around your house. So say that happens, right? And you're an old man for, let's say, the 60s era, right? And you've got your Glock sitting in the drawer. What you got to do?
Well, there's a number of... Here's the thing, Chris. There's a number of places that try to prosecute. Say, there's a woman in the house. She's got kids. And this was actually a real case. It was somewhere out the East Coast. I believe Connecticut it was. She had intruders. She pulled out a gun.
Yeah.
Killed one of them.
Yeah.
She was the one charged.
Why?
For premeditated murder.
Did you see the other TikTok videos? The craze that's going. The younger generation are going up to people in the street and stealing their dogs, grabbing them and then running away with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the police are not doing nothing. The police are not doing nothing about this. This is what I find ridiculous. It's the society we're having. The young people get away with. Young people can basically get away with murder now. And that's what's the next craze? Let's see if we can murder somebody and get away with it live on camera.
Oh, we better make this discretion. Do not do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We have to make that legal discretion. Otherwise, we could get flagged for saying this type of stuff. But because people won't actually look into the fucking situation.
What I just said there, do not do anything like that. But it is coming to that. It is coming to that. Where people are putting on TikTok, let's go and attack this person, or let's go and do this, let's do that. And people are doing it.
Yeah, because it gets views.
Yeah.
And TikTok doesn't do anything to flag it out. In fact, there was actually an experiment done at a university level. They created fake profiles of what would be about 13-year-old boys, right? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, you had more content involving suicidal tendencies, basic people getting the living crap beaten out of them, a lot more violent content, and that's just them signing on.
Look at that young lady. I'll say that was. Did you see the one with the traffic reports where she killed 2 people in a car, and the cops like that? She's in hospital and she's out her face, and it's like that. You've killed 2 people, homicide. You're going to jail. And she's like, oh, do I have to go to jail? Can I just go home? It's only 2 people I've killed.
Yeah, you were talking about that yesterday.
I honestly, I think I think society is on the precipice of breaking down.
That's
think
the
we
whole
are.
point.
Yeah. I think that's what they want. They want all the people that are kind of on the good side rising up against all these complete and utter, and I'm going to say the word, fannies. That's what's going to happen. And if you're listening to this, don't rise up and take care, because then we'll get flagged for that. But that's what I'm just. In fact, didn't we say the night, guys? Just totally counteract it and stick a pair of underpants in your head, 2 pencils up your nose. Get what I mean? And occasionally say the word "a wobble." That's it's an old joke that you'll not get it because you're American. Drew will in the chat. But it's true. I mean,
don't
look at
know
that.
what
Look at
to
that
say,
fucking idiot you've got as a fucking president. Jesus Christ almighty. When's he going to jail, by the way? When's him and his son going to jail?
Unfortunately, it's a lot like the royal family. Some of the shit they pulled, they can shut it down.
Oh, yeah.
They have shut down investigations into them.
Well, the royal family. Here's an interesting thing I bet people didn't know for the UK. The royals that are in charge now, Prince Charles and all that, are actually not the rightful heirs to the throne.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. And another thing about them is they're actually Germanic history tied to them. German, which is nothing wrong being German. I'm not saying there's anything bad wrong being German, but I'm just saying that they were supporters of the Nazi Party, the royals, before the war. See the one that abdicated before King George. He was a Nazi supporter. And it's well known. And also the royal family have been friends with every famous paedophile that's went to jail in history. Because they would throw parties for the king that's in charge right now.
The royals have been named in Epstein's files.
Yeah. Oh, but they'll be fine because they're super rich and they can get away with it. I find it a bit ridiculous, man. I need to say something. It's the way the UK's in the new, right? With people with the cost of living and stuff like that. It's kind of stupid. I sat and looked at this during the coronation. The people are paying for these rich people to stay in all these houses and have all these fancy stuff and have a big golden carriage, right? And then they all stand and wave their flags at them and go, hooray! We're standing in the rain, freezing cold, and can't heat our houses and can't afford food, but you have a lovely time in your golden carriage.
You know, like, kind of sounds a lot like a lot of these social media influencers that have such diehard fans, quote unquote, that they might as well try to treat them like royalty. I mean, here's one for you. Some guy was selling his contact lenses because they had seen the latest Taylor Swift tour for $10,000. Used contact lenses. Then let's go into other social media, so-called influencers who think they're influencers, who know that they've been called out on certain shit, and because feel like they're getting backed into a corner, they're rallying up lives with individuals who have no clue what's going on just because they know they're going to get the sympathy.
Yeah. Like social
complete
media
utter narcissistic twats.
I mean, you've also got Facebook's one of the big ones, and they've got their stupid thing where they want you get into a virtual world and all that. The absolute bullshit.
I think Meta's been shut down, all but shut down pretty much.
I just think Facebook's all right for talking to folk in that. I've got a Facebook group on there. Obviously, some of the people here are watching Facebook. In fact, how many people are watching us tonight through Facebook? We've got one person watching us, one person.
Through the main page, yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, well, that's only the numbers we can see. You know, the way we have it set up, we don't exactly get accurate numbers.
That's why the podcast always does better than the main section. Look, the world's messed up. It is messed up, and what's happening in the EU and Europe, that's just. I'll tell you. You talk about things going stupid. You see what happened in Ukraine the other day. I have to talk about this because this is the sheer utter madness of this planet. Did you see
Another
what
reason
happened?
we're not
in
getting
Ukraine?
monetized.
I'm not caring. And actually, I'm not a Putin supporter. I'm neither a Putin supporter, right? But the UK gave the Ukrainians uranium tipped munitions, right? Shells. You heard about that?
Yep.
So they shipped them out of this city, put them in a warehouse. Russia fired the missile, hit the warehouse. All the shells exploded. You'll not get this in the mainstream media, but trust me, go and look, guys. All the munition exploded. That city, kind of Donetsk, I think it's called, has now got a radioactive plume worse than Chernobyl over it. And they say you might not even go into that area for 500 years. And that was the UK that did that. No, Putin. I obviously is going to attack somebody that's sending them stuff, right? That you would attack if you were at war with somebody else, you would attack them. But they sent them depleted uranium shells. How stupid can you get? How stupid can you get? No, he's wanting jets off of your glorious leader. He's wanting F-16s or something, or F-15s or whatever they are.
Yeah.
What's next? Give them a nuclear weapon. Because it's gone that way.
The second that happens, trouble's afoot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who's that? John Morrison, Dakota Christopher, and everyone else. Welcome. Chad Smith, I've not seen you for a while. Welcome.
I was about to
In
say,
the
which
chat.
Chad Smith?
Oh, that's very true. Because we know a couple of Chad Smiths. It depends what Chad Smith here.
Yeah, no, it's like you and Drew. And Drew.
I know.
And Drew.
And Drew. And Drew. And Drew. And Drew. And Drew. And Drew. And Drew. And Drew. You know, people can have unique names. Like, call you something like straight. Like, you've got a unique name, Dakota. Is that your original name? Were you named that at birth, Dakota?
Yeah.
Because you get some folk that are like, they've got a stupid name and then they change it to like a cool name like Zach Bacon's. I don't think that's his right name, is it? No, it's like
I think
pop stars.
that's his name.
It's that pop stars change their names, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they have stage names, and sometimes people have a legitimate reason behind changing their name.
There's John Morris. Look, they blew up a stack of pile of depleted uranium. That was Britain's fault for sending it, and Ukrainians' fault for expecting it. Exactly. See, that's war. We should not be in this war. We shouldn't be. We've nothing to do with it.
By all means, there's actually been a number of situations where Russia has tried to pull out to end this.
Of course it has. Russia has
But
tried to have peace negotiations 3 times.
And say like the Nord Stream Gulf explosions.
Yeah.
The U.S. media tried to automatically blame the Russians for it.
Yeah.
Everywhere else in the world, report that it was UK and U.S. ships that blew it up. Trying to blame it on the Russians.
I look at Nord Stream 2, the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's what I was just talking about.
Aye. And it was, do you know, 2 minutes after that was blowing up, our glorious Prime Minister, before the one, the idiot we've got the new, the woman one, phoned your glorious president and said, the job is done.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly. I just think the UK government, honestly, I feel like I'm on a bad side. I feel like I'm on the Nazi side. Do you see where I'm going with this? I feel like I'm on the bad side here.
People don't realize how much the Nazis still influence the world.
Exactly. The Nazis are still...
They may not be using the Nazi name. A bunch of idiot rednecks from the American South, usually. And here in Idaho. No, not me. No, not me. I shave my head because I already have an old man bowl, as my mother likes to call it. But No,
There's
Nazis still have influence. And like I was
Okay.
saying before, and it's not just the LGBTQ community, it's Black Lives Matter. Every major
yeah.
political movement has been officially been compromised. And they are becoming the exact same fascists that put them in that situation in the first place. There was a point in history where nobody cared if someone was gay or if someone had a weird skin color. Now, if all of a sudden someone was born albino, yeah, there might be some concerns.
See, the ideal world is where they can be what they want to be, but all this hatred needs to stop. It really does. Like, the racism needs to stop, right? But then you get the black community, like, take it out and say, I ken somebody that was racially abused by black people, and they're white,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
calling them cracker and all that. I mean, but if you two turn around and say to them, you be the racist, but it's all right for them to do it to us. See, this is what I mean. Society is broken. Society is totally broken, and it needs totally remapped.
You know, my younger cousin, okay, yes, I'm kind of going into the high school mentality, but this is also kind of proving my point that a lot of people haven't escaped who they were in high school or secondary school or whatever you fucking UKers call it. She is half Jamaican, all right?
Right?
She looked at my grandma asking for a sun chair, wanting to tan because her friends at school saying she was not black enough.
Yeah.
Her school was mostly Hispanic.
Yeah.
And they all thought, they tried to say, oh, why don't you embrace your culture? They all thought she was Hispanic when she first started going there.
Yeah.
She's like, I am. I'm Jamaican.
All this needs to stop. We all need to start getting on together, right? We all need to stop this hatred. And I'll say this to the transgender things. It's fine to be what you want to be, but see, when you start forcing it on children, I think it's wrong.
It's like, first off, here's what I don't get. Kids don't care about that type of stuff.
No.
They just don't. I mean, have you heard that little story that goes around on social media nowadays? I'm sure those kids are almost teenagers now, but it was like they were 5 when they first came out. There's a little black boy and a little white boy who wanted to get matching haircuts because they thought they looked the same and they wanted to confuse their teacher.
I've never seen that one, though.
Yeah. They were like 5 years old, and it's like they thought they looked exactly alike and they wanted to trick their teacher.
Hey, Iron Fire Horse.
The kids don't care. It's their parents that teach them this.
Yeah.
It's not the older generation, ignorant people of the older generation are teaching it to the youngers. The youngers don't understand why the older generation has those thoughts, and therefore start doing more stupid shit, thinking that they're trying to fulfill what their parents would want for them.
It's not just racial discrimination and stuff like that. We could get into religious discrimination. I mean,
oh yeah,
they say that they say they want to help Ukraine, right? Because they're getting attacked and all that. What about the poor people in the West Bank that were getting bombed left, right, and centre by Palestine? They'll no help them because they're Jewish and they're allowed to do that, even though that's not their place. That's no doesn't belong to them. It was given to them after the World War II. But you see where I'm going with this? It's madness. It's what suits you. Yeah, why do you think we are helping Ukraine? Why do you honestly think we're helping Ukraine? Because there is reasons.
I know.
And it's not
officially we want them associated with NATO.
Yeah.
But you got to consider, take the more predominantly black areas of Africa as an example. Uganda, Nigeria, all those places. They have some legitimate issues on their hands. Yeah. Soldiers kidnapping children to recruit them, young girls being trafficked.
We do have the government sending them weapons to try and help them, don't we? Or sending them money.
There was someone we tried to have on as a guest, but she somehow injured herself before the show and had to cancel. She tried to do a little fundraiser for school children in Uganda. Had a live feed from the kids. Touching motion. Nobody showed up.
Exactly.
Yet,
Exactly.
show a little pretty little white girl didn't notice. Little blonde hair, blue eyes.
A wee bit of a war zone in the background, you know?
Yeah. Now everybody's wanting to pitch in.
Yeah.
They may not think they're being inherently racist, but subconsciously there's still a level of discrimination.
Yeah.
Yet we're ignoring certain ethnic groups. And did you see recently that China has started putting out that they have weapons that can target biodiversity? They can target certain ethnic groups specifically.
Yeah.
Just them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go back to the West Bank for a second. I mean, the West Bank's been getting blown the fuck out for years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Israelis, the bomb, and they act as if they're the poor ones, and no, the Israelis are getting their houses bulldozed, and the city's getting white. We are. Eventually, it's all got to be. Okay, I mean, right? The world is messed up. See, Ukraine. I'm going to go back to this, right? Did you know, and I'm not going to say what they made in these places, right? But we all know what they made in these places. Before the war broke out, there was biolabs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Ukraine before 2014, after the kind of uprising happened with Mr. Zelensky and all that kind of stuff, Ukraine was basically owned by the deep state. It wasn't a country. They had multiple biolabs all around about the country, and there's proof out there. The UN had proof in this, but they've covered it up because they say that Mr. Putin's bad. He's a bad bugger, right? He's been killing folk and all that kind of stuff, and he should seek the consequences of what he's done and stuff. But so are we. So is your government shipping all the weapons to bloody Ukraine. They shouldn't be doing that. What's happening here?
Actually, I'm putting it up because he makes a very valid point. And it's something I've said before on the show. The woke community's cultural appropriation is basically a repeat of segregation laws.
Hey.
And I'm willing to even extend it to ET depictions in the media. We had a conversation about this in the chat group, that how certain characters on the Sith side in the new Star Wars movie look an awful lot like Elena's depiction of Enki, as more people would know him as. Which people will say, "Oh, that is kind of weird, huh? That must be the deep state trying to control the narrative." No, think about it. Just think about it. Think about it. Look at some of the earliest Disney cartoons. Some of the heavy racist portrayals that were in
Not
it.
just racist, other things.
Oh yeah. Disney.
Very dirty.
Walt Disney, the man himself, was a Nazi supporter.
Oh yeah, but he was also into other things too.
Oh yeah. And he knew it.
They're all into it.
He admitted to it several times.
The world needs to wake up, and we need to get rid of all these world leaders. I don't say, like, obviously through legal ways. What I mean is, I think they should do away with everybody and just have like a one government. And then folk will say, "Aye, but that's the one world government and stuff like that." But we'll have to do something soon, because sooner or later, Putin's going to get backed into a corner, and he's going to press that button. It might not happen, but I bet you one of them goes off. I bet you one goes off before the rest gets stopped.
Like we were talking about yesterday, the CIA come out and said that they have started up their own Telegram channel to give people access to report potential Russian activities on an international scale.
Yeah.
Huh? Where have we heard that excuse before?
It's quite
Roughly the
interesting.
50s?
Look at it this way, right? See, in the UK, do you know it's illegal to pray in the street? They've made it illegal to pray in the street outside, like an abortion clinic or like a mosque. It's illegal to stand outside that and pray. That was one woman. She was arrested for praying into her head. The police officer says, "What you doing? You're standing very quiet." She says, "I'm praying in her head," and she was arrested for it. A hate crime. But other religions that are here are allowed to do what they want. You see where I'm going with this? It's like it's one-sided.
Yeah.
The world's messed up,
Yeah.
and it's getting worse, and it's getting worse, and it's getting worse. See, in 10 years, I'll be 52 nearly, right? Dakota will still be a young kid on the block. Might look a bit older, but you know, by that time, will have cured you, kind of hair transplant or something. But I bet the world is totally fucked up, man. I bet you it's totally. If we're still here, that is. I don't think the UK's got long to last. What's that Iron Firehouse? Where was she? She was praying outside an abortion clinic in London. But she was praying into her head. She wasn't saying anything out of her mouth. She says to the police officers, "I'm praying in my head." And they arrested her. Look it up.
And who knows? I mean, was there a specific thing she was praying for? Like, maybe she had a friend in there who was undergoing, for whatever reason the case may be, you know, make sure everything went smoothly. There weren't no complications.
No, it was because she was protesting outside the abortion clinic, but she said she was praying. Here it's here. Moment Catholic woman is arrested for a second time, secretly praying outside. Here, I'll send it to you, the Daily Mail, right? I'll send it to you now. You can post it in the chat for everybody. Have a wee read at that.
Me do all the fucking work as usual.
Nah, well, you're in charge tonight. So. Police tell Catholic woman praying is an offence, as she is arrested for a second time for silently praying in an exclusion zone outside abortion clinic. How can you have an exclusion zone for praying outside abortion clinic? This is the moment the police, there's a video, the police Catholic woman praying in an offence as she was arrested a second time outside an abortion clinic just weeks after being for the same offence. She's been arrested twice for this, by the way. Video shared online shows Isabel, I almost say her name, director of anti-abortion group March for Life UK, being arrested outside the BPAS Robert Clinic in Kings North. Oh, sorry, it's Birmingham. It wasn't London, Birmingham. Officers asked Mrs. to step outside the exclusion zone. She was basically a foot away from this exclusion zone. The clinic, however, tells the offence that she is not protesting and not engaging in any activities prohibited. The police respond by, "You said you engaging in prayer," because she was praying in her cell. She wasn't saying nothing, which is an offence to, she replies, silent prayer. So it was a thought crime. Where does that sound kind of hangry? A thought crime. Was that George Orwell, 1984?
Yeah.
Check that video out, guys, in the chat. Honestly. The link in the chat. Click that, and you'll see what I mean.
It certainly makes you wonder what's going to be the next step in the world. Because people don't want to step up. Because they know if they go to step up against this type of protests, they're the ones going to be prosecuted.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and she incriminated herself, but still, you should be allowed to stand in the street and pray.
Like I said, maybe she had someone in there. You know, it could have been a situation.
Still does the mayor. It still does the mayor.
Still,
you should still be allowed to stand outside anywhere you are and pray.
I know, but still, she's praying. She was
protesting against abortion. That's what I'm trying to say. She was protesting.
Okay, I know, but that's not what I'm saying, Chris. What I'm saying is, what if she wasn't necessarily protesting? What if she was praying for somebody to be able to walk out of there that they know is having already a hard enough time? You know, there could
terrible.
It couldn't be that they just wanted to just terminate a random pregnancy. It could be that there were complications and the baby didn't make it, and they had to clear it out before something happened to mama.
the world is messed up. That's all I'm going to say. And in the years to come, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. They want to take people's cars away from them. You will own nothing and be happy.
Klaus Schwab fully admitted that he wants to make the United States more like China.
Yes. Or the CBDC, where all your money's in digital currency, and if you don't do what you're told, they stop your bank and you can't do nothing and you can't buy nothing. If you CBDC today, if you buy one too many chocolate bars that month, because you might not be allowed one chocolate bar a month. You've bought too much gas this week. You've had 2 gallons this week outside of your limit of a gallon per month.
You know, barely enough to just have on standby for most gas lawnmowers these days.
Yeah. Yeah. And I honestly don't see, I honestly see it. See, something's going to happen anyway. I can tell you that right now. I think we're in for another pandemic. Another one's coming. They've said it. They said it's going to happen. Mr. Gates himself has said there's a new one coming 2025. 24 to 25, there's a new one coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's this, is it Marlborough virus? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, there's a number of viruses that they've been trying to say it could potentially burst into another pandemic. Now, granted, see, a lot of people point to Bill Gates knowing something about the pandemic coming. Oh, he's part of the deep state, blah, blah, blah. You got to admit, he still made a couple very valid points. Look what happened when the world had to shut down because a major virus was coming out of where 90% of the world's materials are produced.
Do you want to hear something that'll blow your minds? See the PR test for COVID?
Mm-hmm.
The wee plastic COVID thing for COVID, only for COVID. The patent for that was served in 2018, and it was hanged for COVID.
The coronavirus was already known to exist.
I know.
I know.
But it's a bit suspicious. That's
yeah,
all
and
I'm gonna
people.
say.
Yeah, that particular. Yeah, they've known that something could happen at any time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all as nefarious as people try to say.
The thing I don't get is how they're going to get the world's population down to 500 million or 800 million by 2025.
They fully expect, and this is on all sides of the argument, they fully expect that revelations like ETs showing themselves will likely result in a mass suicide event.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, but no 7 billion people, man.
It's start.
Maybe 100,000 or something like that, but no.
You got to look at things from a potential snowball effect. People start offing themselves because their entire belief systems are rattled. Then everybody else who's left behind in grieving is somewhat pissed off, wanting to blame something. Blames the ETs. Reagan was preaching for years that the one way that's going to be guaranteed to unite the world is some alien threat from outside the planet.
Yeah.
And he was obsessed with that notion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They've known about this for years.
Yeah.
It's just because I fully believe in many ways it's just because we've gotten lazy that it's all starting to come out.
Surely to God, the good aliens that are coming will stop this from happening.
This is something I've been trying to portray because so many people don't realize they're developing genuine racism the way things are panning out to be.
I would love it if the aliens invaded. And they said, listen, we're going to cure everybody's cancer. We're going to give the technology to travel the stars with us. We're going to show you how to drive your car on water. We're going to do everything for you. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be awesome. Why would you kill yourselves? You would get your religious nuts, the real religious ones, because that would kind of throw it kind of out the window a wee bit. The old religiousness,
even though there's too many moving parts for most people to realize this, Chris. You know, we're all taught that the Greys are bad, yet there's still a few Greys that are legitimately on our side. There's a certain Grey known as the Eric. They they have no interest in human abduction at all. They're more into rocks and minerals. I've seen them personally within 20 feet. And if anything, they were just as shocked to see me as I was shocked to see them. And then at the same time, there's also regulations on the Galactic Federation side that certain reptilian beings that are on our side are staying back because they don't want to freak out the humans. The first aliens that are going to start showing themselves on a public scale are the ones that could look like any random person that you pass on the street. Maybe just more attractive looking. But even then, you have the tall whites. Do you realize how many races fall under that category?
I will admit, if a spaceship lands and out comes some Palladians, you're going to be like, oh, they look quite Aryan, them, and tall and blonde with blue eyes and stuff. But then if another spaceship lands, and let's just say, for instance, the aliens that are meant to be real like the film Alien,
Yes, you fucking xenomorphs.
They're totally nice. They're nice to you. They come up to you and they start going hello and all that, want to shake your hand. There will be a load of folk running away, grabbing their shotgun and shooting at them.
Now you gotta remember, ladies and gentlemen, H.R. Geiger was very fascinated with the human penis, and that was the heavy influence about why they look that way. Seriously, this is genius.
I seen a film made in the 1960s once, and it was a giant thinky. I'm just going to call it for the ladies.
Thinky?
A thinky. I'm just going to make that word up. It's a new word. I'm taking that word thinky, by the way. And it was wobbling about, and it was chasing after these people. And the Americans come up in their jeeps, and the tanks come out of the hills, and they were shooting at it and everything. And it was this big thing wobbling up to them, you know. It was just wobbling away like that, you know.
Oh God, that's gonna.
You're getting off excited. I'll need to get you.
I'm gonna need to put that in a T-shirt. I think I need to put that on a T-shirt. You got a picture, a little cartoon picture of you, and say, "Want to see my thinky?"
I'll send it to you.
Oh God, why am I laughing so hard?
Is that you're doing it very hard, don't you?
I know, right?
The movie.
Oh, now he's actually looking up dick pics online. Oh, Chris, this is not that type of show.
Shush. I can't find it. It was 1960s movies, ladies and gentlemen, and it was a big thing, right? Huge. Don't be getting excited, girls. But anyway, it was massive, and the Americans were shooting it.
Excited.
They were shooting it with their guns and all that, and it was kind of falling over, and it was getting back up again. But did you know?
High voltage is my gun, but.
You see that? I've made your day. You're going, very red. It's, ladies and gentlemen, Firehorse October.
Yeah.
Do you think, John Mudge? Do you think Dakota's looking very red right now?
You gotta admit, it's actually kind of hot right now.
I wonder if Elena's ever been encountered that.
Oh dear God!
I wonder if she's ever encountered that. She's been on the deck of the Galactic.
Thank God she loves us.
Mothership. She's been on the deck of the Galactic Federation's mothership. She's greeting all the extraterrestrials, and there's the lift opens up, and it's a giant thing, and it looks dead like it. It's got the kind of dome bit at the top, and it's got the wee shrubbery bit at the sides and all that, and it's got the one eye. It had one eye. It did. It had one eye. It was like a tentacle. It was coming out like that. And honestly, Elena, if you're watching this back, send the
Elena.
Message. Honestly, did you?
I'm sorry.
That? Because it was a 1960s film. I think it looked like it was made out of cardboard. You could actually see the guy's feet at the bottom. What?
Elena, I'm sorry. Because I know she watches us.
Iron Fire Horse only on top of his head.
Well, I was mowing the lawn, and
exactly, October. I was. I'll tell you. I'll post it on the community tab on.
Oh God, I'm getting backed into a corner.
Bonkers. Honestly, Elena, if you've ever encountered anything strange like that in the mothership, please tell Dakota about it, because I need to put that in a book, by the way. Well, 1960s.
Just had to bring her into this, huh?
1950s, 1960s. But they say a lot of aliens that were predicted then do look like the ones they know. I'm just saying this. I don't want to climb aboard the spaceship to get taken to the Galactic Federation. There's this thing standing in front of me. You know, try to put its spacesuit on and all that.
I don't know what to say.
Wow. What? I was just asking. I'm just
saying. I don't know what to say. My God.
You're saying that there's aliens out of the film Alien, right? Well, that was a film, and it was a giant thingy-mabobber. I'm just saying, if she's experienced anything like that when she's been up there, and you see them all walking about and all that. You know, I've seen some strange ones when I've been kind of having my kind of meditation and all that, but I've never seen one like that. And I've always wondered where the guy got that idea
from looking at his.
Maybe. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
I bet you didn't think you'd be talking about this tonight.
I know, this is not how I expected this show to go.
Well, Elena, if you're watching this tonight, honestly, if you've seen anything like that, please message Dakota and tell him, because I would love to know. What?
Just had to bring Elena into this.
I like doing this, Elena. It's a kind of joke that I've got with Dakota. Look how red and blushed he's getting and all that kind of stuff. Look at everybody in the chat. They're all having a real old laugh.
I know.
It's cheering us all up to the end of the world, you know. Just think about this. Just think it'll be like the card, the first contact, the aliens will land, the music will be playing, the clouds, the human civilization that's lived through a nuclear war will gather round the spaceship. The door will open, and there, right in front of us, will not be a Vulcan, but there will be a giant thing.
Only you would think of something like that.
But I'm just saying, you take the aliens out of the film Alien, so why did you take that? I can't even mind what it was called. It was an alien film made in the 1960s. You know? I'll find it. Give me a minute.
Oh, hey, we've only got like 8 minutes left to the show, man. Come
on.
on.
I'll find it. Give me a minute. 1960 movie. Fiddle Pops. Movie.
Fiddle Pops.
Here we go. Are you changing my name again? Did you change that back to Scotland?
I'm not changing it.
Where is that? That's really annoyed me with that video. It was a 1960s one. Or was it Zotar the Great or something like that? I can't remember what it was called. You guys old enough to remember this 1960 mad thing. I'll find out what it was. But aye, so there you go. So you say that there's creatures out there that are own movies. So there you go. It's definitely high and needs to be. What's that?
Monitored.
Change my name back to Go Scots. That's terrible. But look at cheering everybody up, ladies and gentlemen. So just think, if you ever get abducted, it might be one of those creatures.
Who knows? It may not be the Greys. It may be the walking penis heads.
I can see it now in my head, so clear.
Are you sure it's not a little milky white?
What?
Are you sure not milky white?
But there is a lot of strange aliens out there. I mean, there's a lot of strange ones, big blobs with one eye.
Yeah, and I'm sure they would look at you and think you look like a naked mole rat.
Aye.
Or a potato.
You know, there is a thing, right? And I've always wondered this, and I've always wanted to ask somebody in the US community, but what is with anal probes, by the way? You talk to Elena and all that quite a lot. What is with that, by the way?
Why it's sexual stimulation.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's sexual stimulation.
No,
you can tell it's Anthony Dakota a few times with the colour of his face.
No, that's actually something veterinarians do to help stimulate artificial births, right?
No.
They literally stick something in the ass to help stimulate things. They do it to humans too. Oh God, we're
sorry,
now gonna need to. We're gonna need to make Bald and
But,
Bonkers
but
diapers because of you.
no, but it's quite interesting. I've always wondered why they use them.
It could, like I said, there is sort of an
But
anal
why?
probe situation.
Is it a hobby that they've got or something like that? Because I'm asking you because you're into the alien stuff, right? Into the alien
Okay,
stuff.
I'm answering your fucking question. Like I said,
Why
there's
would they do that? Why would they say, right? Let's
DNA
abduct,
collection.
right, let's say, for instance, let's abduct
The same reason why
John
they do
Morris, right?
fecal transplants, man.
But let's say John Morris is walking along the road. He's
Oh,
just
now you're
out the
picking
pub,
on the audience.
yeah, or whatever, and the alien spaceship's whistling round, making this woo 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 noise, and the mist coming up and all that. And he looks up, and the big spaceship appears above him, and zaps him, and takes him on board. And then the guy comes out with a big probe. Why? What is the point of that? Is it
DNA
something
collection.
that they're into? They're what?
DNA collection.
DNA collection. I thought you were going to say DVD collection there.
No, DNA collection. The same reason. Why do we do
So there you
fecal
go, ladies and
transplants?
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember, when you're walking the streets at night, in those dark, dark nights, you could
God.
get a shock that you would never know. Change my name, but that's terrible, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, you've got to throw a bit of fun. Maybe it's a tuning I think there. It's October. It's maybe a tuning
Jesus.
Oh,
Don't
I'm telling you, that's what
don't encourage him.
It's tuning the psychic energies. It's sucking the energies in. See,
Oh God.
I love doing this to him. I love embarrassing him. It's just a hobby that I've got, ladies and gentlemen. Because if
That's a legitimate procedure.
I didn't know that. It's something that you get done regular. Or is it?
No, apparently it's supposed to help with certain gut issues and transplanting. I don't know. I'm curious how the hell that idea got started. I mean, what kind of doctor is gonna think, I wonder what would happen if we take this person's shit and put it into this person? You know?
It's maybe the same.
It's gonna be German!
It's maybe the same as the Galactic Federation thinking. Now, we could use a thing that looks like a earthly mobile phone that would scan the host and get all the DNA samples just through scans. Or we could use this big, long, pulsating, shiny object. I think we'll go with that one. See what I'm saying with this? See, honestly, it's like people... I think whoever works for them, they've got... What? Just don't go...
Don't do a handstand, Chris.
You do, especially if there's a lot of electrical... Exactly!
Jesus.
Can you imagine getting a lightning bolt there?
Well, it would leave one hell of a scar.
Yeah, but get all the audience excited now. We've got all the audience excited now. It's a good job this isn't streaming in Parapost. Brian be having a fit now.
Oh well.
You know? Oh my god, that's quite the image. Yep.
Oh,
That's what
God.
we should be. We should bring out a rain t-shirt line. I've just been probed.
UFO. I've been fingered. Oh, wait, that's taken. Damn it, Lex.
Coming
Anyway.
soon. Bald and Bonkers probes. Go to the shop. Buy your own. You can use it for many things. Keep it in your car in case somebody tries to burgle it. You could hit them out the head with it.
You know, it's made of rubber, you know.
I think I've been mad tonight. I think I've been. I was when we were walking the night through the woods and that. There was some strange smells and that. I think that I've just went mad.
Have you tried shrooms?
I haven't actually. No, have you?
Only on the pizza.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't take drugs. They're bad for you.
See, just look at him as an example.
No, I've been eating too many of the, what do you call it, energy tablets, trying to keep awake because I was awfully tired. But I think that's what's done it. We should do a comedy show. A comedy show. Well, this is
we should do a comedy show like we don't already.
What do you mean? It's bald and bonkers. That's what we are. We're mad.
That already sets up as a comedy show. What are you talking about?
I'm telling you, by the way. I'm telling you to look up that alien, that big alien. I'm telling you, you'll never. Once you see it, ladies and gentlemen, you'll never get it out your head. I seen it one night. It was in black and white, and all the American soldiers were running away screaming.
Yeah, that's not a very accurate depiction knowing the U.S. military.
Well, I can't really explain the size and geometry on here, can I? Unless I've got like a big board and like a marker and stuff like that, you know.
Hold on, I'll get mine. I'm joking. It's screwed to the wall. So,
Dakota, what's on next week? Do we have anything planned for next week or this week or anything?
yes,
strange?
your intervention.
My intervention. I need to go to an exorcist. Praise the Lord.
Oh god, no, we'll see what happens for next week. We do have some conversations going with some very interesting guests, a couple that would be on our bucket list. So definitely follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all over the place to get all the updates on that. Like I said, if you want to publish a book through us, now that service is offered for free. We do have a selection process, and some people have already started to express interest, so that's definitely going to be good.
You don't know if you're into sci-fi fiction and you want to talk about things like we've been talking about and put it into a book form, come to us, you know, get you out there.
Yeah, if you publish a book through us, we'll help you push it out even further by interviewing you on here. If you, but bring a straight jacket because you might need one after dealing with us.
What do you mean? I don't know. I've not went mad tonight. A lot of people have said to me they should throw a lot more fun into the show because we are bald and bonkers. And I think I've done it tonight to a grand scale. People have run away screaming when I approach them in the street.
Yeah, that's already started to happen, but for completely different reasons.
No, well, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a fantastic week. And honestly, go and watch that film from 1960. I think it's 1957 or 1960s. It's run about then. You know, it's the stuff made out of cardboard and like spray paint and stuff like that. It's quite good. Yeah.
Well, if you think of the name for it, let us know in the comments.
I'll put it in the. I'll put it in the. What you call it? What's that? October War Iron type of sanitary.
That may be. I don't believe we talked about that on the show before, there, Chris. But hey, you never know.
I don't know if you're into that kind of hang Dakota. You know.
I don't know, but hey, we better sign off.
Yep. Catch you later, dudes. See you later. Have fantastic dreams and dream about the alien that I just described to you tonight. And I'm sure you'll have a lovely night's sleep. Catch you later.
Oh, they may be sleeping a little too well.
Thanks for tuning into the Bald and Bonkers Show. If you enjoyed the show and want to show your support, head over to our website at baldandbonkers.net. There, you'll find our merch, services, and more. Thanks for being part of the Bald and Bonkers family, and we'll see you on the next episode. And remember, always keep an open mind and an open heart. You never know what may happen tomorrow.